Hidden deep in our mountains, forests, deserts, and woods, you will find lots of historical hidden treasures and places. Exploring these back roads in nature is like unlocking a treasure chest of hidden wonders, revealing the untold stories of our past. I just drove 13 miles up these dirt roads through the Bradshaw Mountains and found this little ghost town. But there's actually people that live in this little ghost town right here. I think the population is 8 people. And we are in Cleator, Arizona. So this location where this ghost town is, it's up this long off-road dirt road through the mountains. Popular area for off-roaders actually. So a lot of ATV people and a lot of off-roaders, they come out here because there's a few things in this area to see and actually go and do, and there's a bunch of trails. So this is a popular destination for off-roaders. And Corey lives out here, and he's helping them redo this ghost town and everything. Can you tell me a little bit about the general store?
It was originally built in 1864 by Tom Nellis, back when the town was still called Turkey Creek. Then James Cleator ended up joining forces with him around 1905. And then later on, those two split ways. Nellis ended up keeping all the cattle ranching, and James P. Cleator bought the town. At that point, he named the general store after himself and the town. I think that was 1913. And then as far as the store, it's everything in here was original. We redid the original floors, all the shelving, and we're just going to open it back into another general store.
Okay, finally made it out to Barker's Ranch, which is Charles Manson's ranch where he lived out here with his followers. So this looks like the entrance. Rhyolite Ghost Town is actually one of my favorite ghost towns in this area. I've been out here a million times, but this is the first time that I filmed it, so I wanted to make sure I came out here and at least got to film it before I left the area. But yeah, so if you're ever in Death Valley area or Las Vegas, it's only like a little over an hour away, maybe an hour and a half away outside of Vegas. Kinda creepy. Well, I just arrived to this little old town called Chloride, Arizona. Alright, so I figured I'd come have some breakfast, and I met this awesome lady, Cassie. So, yes, I know I'm sitting at a bar, but I'm not drinking because I don't drink, so it's a Sprite, and I'm waiting on breakfast.
I'll attest to that.
But I wanted to ask her a couple of questions about this awesome town. What is the population here, by the way?
So the population is about 250 right now.
250, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then, why don't you just tell me a little bit
Yeah,
about the town?
So Chloride, you have landed in the oldest continuously operating mining town in the state of Arizona. We have the oldest continuously operating church in the state of Arizona, and we have the oldest continuously operating post office in the state of Arizona. We're also home of the very first volunteer fire department in the state of Arizona, and we're very, very fond of our history. So Chloride dates back to the 1860s. It's a mining town, and as the gold rush happened, people started heading west and searching for their fortune. Miners came, and the hill that's right behind us here is called Silver Hill. So the miners started mining there, and settlers started coming in and settling into the area, and they did find silver. There was a miner with two men, a mine with two men, and a mine with four men. And this was also the Wallapai Indian Territory. So the Wallapai Indians, they tolerated them being around. They would kind of watch from afar. Sometimes they would interact with them, and they were, for the most part, friendly. Until one day the men were attacked. Most people don't realize, like, they just think that out of the blue the men were attacked, but what actually happened was that in Kingman, or somewhere close by, one of the Indian chiefs was killed by a drunken white man. And so the word spread throughout the tribes, or throughout the Wallapai tribe, and it's factioned into 5 different tribes. But the word spread, and the Indians revolted. And so they attacked the miners, and out of the 6, only 2 survived.
All right, this is the old jail. It's a 2-cell jail. Only 2 cells in there. 1860 is what it says. Still standing. Wonder if we can see inside. Oh, that's pretty cool. There's a little hole right there, but there's a rock for you to step on and look in. So I think it was okay. So pretty. Very detailed. Very talented. last night was my first night staying here, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little creeped out because there are these old historical cabins everywhere on this property, and I tried to find a camping spot away from them, and I couldn't. So, but I survived my first night in this ghost town. So this area looks to be like it's the old zoo. Pretty sure it's the old zoo. So it's pretty cool. There is a little bit of graffiti here because people can't respect things. But yeah, definitely can tell it used to be a zoo. So this whole entire area, by the way, is from the 1920s. This is actually a pretty popular ghost town. It's up by Telluride, and we just had to drive really high up a mountain to get to this ghost town. Like so high up that I don't know if you guys can see, it is snowing now. Yeah, yay. But look, here's the first little structure that we've come to. all this. I don't know if you guys can see, my nose might be a little red. It's pretty cold up here. We are in Colorado and pretty high up on the mountains. I'm gonna have to figure out what the elevation is for this, because I didn't get a chance to look that up. So, wow, it's crazy. Alright, here comes the snow again. And then I don't know if you guys can see back there. Yeah, that's a big cloud. Big snow cloud that's coming in. Look at that. So, don't want to be stuck up here in snow. So, I'm gonna see what else is up here. So I'm at Nelson Ghost Town, and Nelson Ghost Town is about an hour outside of Vegas. Come here often? Do you live here? What's your name? Pretty cute. I'm single. Are you single? Can I get your number? I don't appreciate you got lips on the side of you right now. They're not my lips because I don't wear lipstick. Hey, I'm talking to you. Hello? You got some stuff up your nose right there. Okay. I see you're not really talkative right now, so I'll give you a little bit of time and I'll come back. Okay, I know it's really hot out here. It's hot. Don't blame you. Talk to you later. Okay, so I can't believe I've never been here before either, but at Ballarat Ghost Town. It's a pretty cool little area. Lots of old stuff. And there was an old Jeep here. I have always passed by this place right here. It is right off of Interstate 40 in northern Arizona. If you guys are familiar with Interstate 40, I-40 used to be Route 66. So I've passed by this whole entire place so many times and never knew what it was. Now I'm in the area again and I had to look it up, and oh my God, there's so much history to this place right here. I was very amazed by that. I had to stop and had to film this place. Where am I at? I am at an abandoned town off of the original Route 66. But it's not only an abandoned town, it dates back all the way to the Native American history in the early 1900s. Let's go explore. Okay, it looks like I found where the campground was. How do I know this was the campground? Well, this over here is the pool, where the pool used to be. And then over here, which we'll go walk and see, there's the old electric boxes. Was the site of a mass murder of Apaches by their Navajo enemies in 1878. Some Apaches had hidden in a cave at Two Guns to avoid detection, but were discovered by the Navajos, who lit sagebush fires at the cave's exit and shot any Apaches trying to escape. It's kind of creepy. The fire I can't say that word. Pretty much suffocated 42 Apaches, after which they were stripped of their valuables. The murder site is referred to as the Death Cave. And then during the winter of 1879 to 80, Billy the Kid and his outlaw gang hid in the ruins of a stone house and corral. Huh, that's the corral. I was wondering what that was. We'll go see that afterwards. On the west rim of Canyon Diablo, across from Two Guns. I'm just amazed of how small this area is and how much stuff is in this small little area. Look at that. And then there's the upstairs. Oh, that's where the stairs used to be. And the door up there. There's something over here. But this whole piece right here looks like it was all one piece, one building. Looks massive. That's a building. I don't know, I think this might be something that the people built that had the town. That's what it looks like to me. I'll tell you one thing, if this was a house, or whatever it was, they had a nice view right over the canyon. Look at this. This is their view. Wow. Holy moly. Absolutely beautiful. so this is a place that I've always wanted to come to and see. And even though I lived in Vegas for 16 years, I never made it out here. This place is only like 30 minutes outside of Vegas. So, and here I am just now making it. So we are at the historical St. Thomas site, and it's a ghost town. I know you guys love ghost towns, so yay! This ghost town was actually, used to be a little town in 1865 to 1938. And then the town got washed away by the water, and it was underwater for a long time. Well, it's not underwater now. Go figure. Okay, looks like we made it to St. Thomas. So this right here was the road going into St. Thomas. And then see these little tree stumps over here? These little tree stumps down there. Those actually were trees that lined the road going into St. Thomas. And then whenever the Hoover Dam was built, and the water consumed the town, this town was 70 feet below the water. Okay, so this structure right here was actually their grocery store and their service station. This is where they came and got their groceries, homemade root beer, homemade ice cream, and even gas. You know, those old-timey cars, they needed gas back in the day too, so. But yeah, homemade root beer and homemade ice cream. I bet it was really good back in the day. Because I forgot to mention, this whole place was Mormons. Let me tell you what I thought that said up there. Can you guys imagine what that said above drugstore, what I thought it said? Here. Guess somebody wanted to play target practice with the sign. That goes with where we're going and the creepy vibe that I have of the place of where we're going. This made it even better. Bullet holes and a sign. Let's just add some more creepiness vibes to the area. Way to go, people, way to go. Kehoe, 1889 to 1919, Nevada's last renegade Indian. He survived alone. Kehoe was a Native American Indian born around 1880. He was a Native American outlaw and renegade whose exploits became part of Nevada legend. Many deaths were blamed on Kehoe, and so he earned the title of being the first mass murderer in the state of Nevada. In 1940, prospectors working near the Colorado River discovered a cave containing the mummified remains of Kehoe. He was buried, but then his remains were purchased by someone and then given to the Las Vegas Elks Club, which they exhibited the remains at the Eldorado Days Festival. Later, Roland Wiley, the owner of this canyon, bought the remains and gave Kehoe a proper burial at Cathedral Canyon. Here I am, down in a canyon. It's a little creepy, actually. So this canyon right here is called a Cathedral Canyon. And well, of course this canyon was made by nature, but a man in 1972 bought this canyon and the whole area around it. I think it's like 160 acres of land all around here. And well, this guy had a vision with this canyon. Apparently the guy was really religious, because there was a big huge statue of Christ over here, but due to vandalism, it doesn't look like a statue of Christ anymore. It was beheaded. But he did a lot of work in this canyon. He was building on it from 1972 to 1993. And it got to be a popular place. People from Las Vegas and all over the place came here to see what this guy had built. And when he passed away in 1993, shortly after is when all the vandalizing started. that you will clearly see all through here. And nobody really took care of it afterwards. But you can definitely still see his touches through here. Okay, this part, I'm not sure if this was, I'm going to say that might have been part of the man's decorations in here. I'm going to say this and that is probably vandalism and all the other graffiti that you see. But because that up there is a religious thing, and it says Sermon on the Mountain afterwards, that's probably from the man. And then he's got those, I'm not really sure what he was going with on those, but they're all through the canyon. Almost looks like windows, but it's not windows because you can't see through it. They're everywhere in the canyon. And this is the end of the canyon when you drive through. But you can see, maybe he had like decorations or something in them. As you can see, there's a pocket right there. One right there. It's pretty cool. So there also used to be a bridge that he used to have going across the canyon that you could walk across. Okay, so over here, this is actually a memorial. And it's a recent memorial, which is pretty sad. So apparently, a few years ago, some people murdered this guy, and I think he was a young guy. And I'm not sure if they murdered him above the canyon up there, or I think it was somewhere else, and they drove out here and they pushed him off the cliff up there. Pushed his body down into the canyon. It was like a big story. They were from Pahrump, Nevada. And I want to say it was like 2 guys and a girl that murdered him. So this is where they found his body. And so there's a memorial down here. So I do get a creepy feeling when I come down here, because I do believe in spirits, so. I'm sorry you had to go through all that. So here's another one. Another one. That was actually a statue of Christ. But because people don't respect things, some people came out here and beheaded Christ and destroyed the statue. This is kind of sort of center into the canyon. So yeah, and then another little pocket thing, but I'm sure there used to be statues or something inside those things, and then people just took them